This is your main man, Jaleel Mans. This is your main man, Jaleel Mans, for Marketing Velocity Podcast. And I've got I think this is a revisit from maybe 6 to 8 years ago, right? So
Yeah, a long time.
long time. So I want to introduce all of you to Chloe Forbes Kindland, right? And she is simply phenomenal. I mean, I'm not going to make the introduction, but I love to let my guests make their own introduction. I feel like there's no better way to introduce someone than to hear it from the sources themselves. So, Chloe, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's definitely been a long time. When we last spoke, which was about 6 years ago now, I was in the trenches with social media marketing. And since then, it's been a journey like a lot of us go on in entrepreneurship, making a lot of pivots and bends. But I now do Squarespace website design and coach other either designers in becoming Squarespace designers if they want to pick that as their niche and go forward with that, or in helping other businesses in using and building their Squarespace website, but also building it in a way that generates profit for their business. Because it's one thing to have a pretty website, but it's another thing to have a pretty profitable website, which is really what we're all, that's the purpose of building this website out, and it's what we're all seeking.
Exactly. I mean, I think our website is one of those tools that's always working for us 24/7. We're sleeping, we're busy, we're in constant Zoom meetings, right? And it's important that our website kind of, really elicit some emotion and resonate with the visitors so that they understand that you are your product or your service is the solution for what they're looking for. So, Chloe, I wonder, when someone's just getting started and they don't have a website, I mean, where's a great place to start?
I always think the best place to start is with the foundation of your entire business. Who you're actually serving, what problem you're solving, how you're going to solve that problem, and what that process looks like. It's so basic, and yet it's the thing that a lot of business owners forget. It's You need to understand your customer, and you need to understand what they're thinking, what they're feeling. It's a lot easier when you're face to face with someone and you're having a conversation. You pick up on all of their body language, their signals, how they're saying things, what they're saying underneath the words that they're saying. And so the challenge is, how do we take these tools and this software, whatever it is we're using to build our website, and we're able to break those barriers down of technology and say, okay, we're still people. How do we have a conversation? And so it really starts there, and just understanding, you know, where your ideal customer is in their journey, what they're feeling, what their problems are, what their concerns are, the solution, and where they want to go, how you're going to get them there. And then in between that, in that place of where they are now and where they want to go, they have a lot of concerns, objections, fears, all of that. It's usually mindset stuff that gets in the way. And so we have to address that on the website as well, being able to really get into their mind and show them what's possible and break through any concerns they have about their ability to get there.
Right. And that's so critical. And there was a time that I used to do websites, and that was just one of those things that always popped up was, for a designer, it was simple for me to match their brand and create some sort of design that looks nice, right? But sometimes reaching out to the business owner, the challenge was they didn't understand all of those things that you're saying. I even had one person that reached out and said, I just sent you a copy of my brochure. Just put that on there. And I said, whoa, I don't know if that's going to work so well. It may give people the basic information that they need about your business and who you are, but it doesn't address those concerns that you mentioned, like their fears and their goals that they want to accomplish. So, in that process of everything that you said, I mean, how do you work with someone to help kind of put all of that together so it makes sense and that it kind of fits into all of the different pages?
Yeah. So there's on a very practical level, there's things that I will provide support in, and as in, like, you get a website content planner or a guide to walk you through your brand strategy and things like that. But a lot of the time, we end up doing so much more than just building a website. It's really going back to their business strategy, it's going through the whole process with them, including their plan of where they want to go, what it is their core offer is. Within that core offer, how is that going to tie to the revenue, and how much do we need to sell in order to get a return on that investment to reach your revenue goals? So there's a lot more that goes into it than just a website, and I take a lot of pride in that process because I think it's been the differentiator between um, just creating a website and creating a website that generates revenue and provides a platform for people to grow and scale on. Um, so yes, I provide their resources, but a lot of the time there's a lot of coaching involved in there too, and going back to the basis, going through their plans, their goals, their key performance indicators, all of that stuff, looking at their core revenue, looking at how they're defining their products and services, how they're talking about their products and services, the language they're using, all of that good stuff. But really, like, the basic line that I always start with is go and speak to your customers and go and get some validation for yourself, because the more you have the conversation with them, the more you listen to what they're saying and you're hearing what's being said, you're able to pick up on the language they're using. They're going to tell you what the problems they're facing are. They're going to tell you the impact it's having on their life. And all of that, all of those, especially if you're recording those calls, that's going to tell you what to write on your website. And it's not ever about what it is you're selling. You're trying to guide your customers on a journey from where they are now to where they want to be. And so every page has to start with, okay, what is my main purpose with this website page? What is the one message I'm trying to share with them? And what is the one action that I need them to take to get to the next step? And then what information do I need to give them in order to make that journey? Does that make sense at all?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. And so I think that's the differentiator, right, between a website that's more of a brochure and one that actually helps you generate leads in your business, helps you make more sales. Um, and it makes absolute sense to me. So, I mean, where do you take them on the journey after that?
Well, that's the beautiful thing. So you asked me about the starting point, and the starting point is mapping out your customer's journey, your ideal buyer's journey, finding out where they are now, what they're feeling, what they're going through, understanding what the stakes are of, okay, I've got this problem. I know what the solution is. And usually, what the solution is not what they think it is. So, like you made the point, a lot of people will come to you with, can you make me a pretty website? Because a pretty website is what I need. No, what you want is you want to generate revenue, and you, in your head, you think that the website, the pretty looking website, is going to get you to the revenue. And it can get you to the revenue if it's backed up with strategy and you've accounted for all these things. But the problem isn't the website, it's the strategy and your business behind the website. And something is broken right now that you're coming to me with that problem. And so going back, like I said, going through their strategy and then mapping out the customer journey. So if you think of it like this, all of your customers are on the mainland and your website is the island, and you're trying to get them from the mainland, which is crowded and noisy and full of competition, and it's really hard to get heard there. You're trying to get them from there over to the island, which is your website that houses your offers. And so, how you do that is you want to create sort of like this marketing bridge that guides them from one place to the other. And so, the messages you share on the mainland that say, hey, come this way, they have to speak to their emotions now, and then you're going to guide them through your content. So whether it's you're doing a blog or a video or a podcast like this, you're using this to share little gems that are going to say, oh, I recognize myself there. Let me go further along and learn a little bit more. Let me go further along and learn a little bit more, which is why content marketing is so important on as part of your website. Like, it can't just be a static place where you just say, okay, here, buy my stuff, that's it. No, it's there's movement in there, and you're trying to move people towards taking action. And so once they're on your website, it's got to be very clear. Okay, here's where you're at. This is what you're feeling. This is a problem you're facing, and here is the solution, and here is why I am the best person to solve that. Now, that sounds like a very straightforward path. It is. We overcomplicate it with bells and whistles. You only need your home page. Yes, you need an about page to build trust. Then you need your core offer pages, whether it's your services or if you're selling digital products, that might be a store. You need the place where you're going to house your content. So that's your blog. And then you do need a way for people to contact you, whether it's on social media, reaching out with farm, whether it's that you have a support center to answer frequently asked questions. But really, like, that's all you need on your website. And like I said, every page should serve a purpose. So what is the point of this page? Why does it exist? Your about page is to build trust. Your services pages are designed to sell. And so it's like, what is the core message? What is the action they need to take to move forward on this journey? And then what's the information in between? And the action isn't always to buy. I think sometimes we're so keen to buy. Sometimes the action is to sign up to the email list first because they're not ready to buy. They have a lot to overcome in limiting beliefs or objections or just uncertainty around this world that they've entered. They don't know. And so our job is to educate them. And before we can educate them, we have to earn their trust. And sometimes that's a lot easier to do on an email list than just asking them to buy something when they're not even close to making the buying decision.
That's very true. That the whole approach of buy my stuff is very aggressive, and it's I feel that it repels more people than it attracts, many more than it attracts. Um,
It does. It really does.
it's so this has been very enlightening. I mean, we've created a customer journey. We've interviewed our customers to see, what their goals are, their problems, their challenges, so that we can create that voice on the website so that it resonates with the prospects we're looking for. And so, how much more work actually goes into this website before you even get to the design aspect?
All of it. All of the work goes in beforehand. It's not the fun stuff. The fun stuff is when you get to build it and make it look pretty. But even things like, the design aspects, the colors, the fonts that you're using, like you said, we're trying to make people feel something. And so we have to tap into color psychology there. How do we create an experience so that when you land on that page, you feel something, whether it's calm or excited or, whatever that may be, even that is something that you have to explore. And that comes down to, again, understanding your customer. So it's the part that most of us forget because we want to get to the fun stuff of the design, but going through that process, like really defining your own niche even. So that you're not speaking in general terms to everyone. You're speaking to a specific person who has a specific problem that you can solve in a very specific way. And so all of that has to happen before you get to the design. And the great thing about it is that once you do that, it becomes a lot easier to do the design. You know exactly what to say. A lot of the times when it comes to website design, if you've been a website designer, so I'm sure you've experienced this in the past where you'll say, my job is the designer. I am not the copywriter. And so you'll say, okay, part of this agreement is that you have to provide me with the copy. You have to provide me with the images. And what happens is you either get ghosted, the deadlines always get delayed because they don't know what to write. they panic and they give you the brochure and they say, just take this, because they don't know. And it's not their job to know, it's our job to help them. And sometimes that is, if you're a designer, you work with copywriters and you say, if you don't know how to do this, I've got somebody here that can help you with this. Or if you need images, here is a list of websites that are going to help you get those images. But whatever that process looks like, it's our job to make it really easy for them. They're invested in us because they don't know. And so our job might not be to provide all those services for them, but it is to give them guidance and to make that journey easy. Because, like, even looking at the customer journey, it really just begins when they buy. They then have to go through the onboarding, the actual experience, the offboarding. And the goal of all of that is that they become your marketing team and that they go and do your marketing for you. Not only because they have a beautiful website that directs back to yours and says, hey, this person made it, but in that you have helped them gain clarity and confidence. And I think that's the biggest gain that people have when they go through a good website design experience, is that they're clear in their message. And so then they're able to show up on the mainland, right, on social media, on podcasts, wherever it may be, and they're able to speak from a place of clarity and confidence. And really, that's what sells. Like you said, when you're buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, that tells that it depends how you're saying it, but a lot of the time that says that I'm not confident. And
True,
so if you
very true.
speak with clarity, if you speak with confidence, if you know exactly what it is you're helping people to solve, then you're going to show up and you're going to say, hey, I can help you solve this problem. And that's the difference between coming from a place where you're serving versus a place where you're selling.
Very true. And that, I think, I'm not sure that all customers understand, how passionate we can be about the work that we do. Between us as professionals, we can articulate to each other exactly how to, how passionate we are. Like, hey, I wish this client would, give me what I need, right? So that I can make this the best site ever. Um, and so that makes me kind of, it takes me to a place of wondering, when you're speaking with someone, whether it's their first website or redesign, what are some of the questions they should be asking you?
Well, just to your point, I think that's very true. But I also think it's our job to get them excited. And so a lot of the times they don't know what questions to ask me. I have to take the lead on that. And I think that's true for all business owners. We have to take the lead and understand that it's not our client's responsibility to know what they don't know. It's our responsibility to educate them. And it's also our responsibility to get them excited and invested and want this, because it makes such a big difference. If you can take a lot of the time, the when clients are coming to you, they have like all this information swirling around in their head. They've probably read stuff, they've watched stuff, they think they have to do stuff. It's just too much. And so they're not always coming to you with excitement. They're coming to you with frustration or worry or concern or just not knowing, overwhelmed with what they have to get done. And so part of our job is to clear all of that and to make it really easy, and to lead by asking the questions, and to just make it very informal and dig a little deeper and pick up on everything they're saying. So you will have had the experience of, like, who is your ideal client? Well, I don't know, kind of everyone, I guess, or kind of this people. And so they don't even really understand the value of having a niche. If you try to explain the value of having a niche at first, sometimes that can be really scary. If I choose to go all in on this market, I'm saying goodbye to everyone else. What if I don't get more money? And so there's a lot of education involved, a lot of education, but they're very welcome to that if you can build excitement within them. Because if you can make them feel excited and ready to go, they know that you're the right person to help them do that with their customers. Like you've given them the transformation that they're trying to create, and that removes and eases any doubt or barriers or concerns that they have, and they can put their trust in you.
That's absolutely right. And then that there's a transference of that excitement because
Yes.
when our customers are excited and they're proud of their website, they brag. It's almost like when their child makes the honor roll or wins an award at school, they want to tell the world about it. And that's kind of the goal, right? That's probably one of the primary goals of a website in the first place is to spread that excitement throughout the world, which in the end will translate into sales. Um,
Definitely. Just
so
even that, like that excitement is what gives you the confidence to be like, hey, go look up. Like, instead of being scared to be salesy and say, like, go to my website and buy my stuff, you're like, hey, look at this amazing site I've got. Like, suddenly you have the confidence to show up and sell, which is, I love seeing that. It's so powerful.
it's very empowering, and with that empowerment comes, better results. Um, and so there's a lot that we covered today, and I'm sure that there's probably some people in our audience, part of our tribe here, that probably wants to know, like, how to get started with you, like how to get that first step going so that they can start moving away from that frustration, that pain of the embarrassing website and the one that doesn't get results. What's that first step that they could take with you to start on that journey with with you and your company?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the one thing I'd say is you can take a look at my YouTube channel. I have videos showing you how to build a website from scratch. Doesn't cost you anything to invest and watch. It is based on Squarespace. But the other thing is on Twitter at Chloe Forbes K. If you go to my pinned tweet, I actually have a 30 days of threads where I walk you through every single step of this process. You get everything from how to build your brand board to what to include on your homepage, your about page, your services page. I link to the tutorials on building your website. If you want to become a website designer or service provider, I have a ton of threads on that linked in there too. And I designed that specifically for anybody who just wanted to get started, but maybe weren't ready to invest. I mean, if you're ready to invest, I have my coaching, I have my website design services, but for people just looking to understand and get into this and explore, even if they're not Squarespace users, I would say check out my YouTube and check out my Twitter account because I've designed it to be a process that you can go through. You can obviously go and look for a ton of tutorials. There's so much on YouTube itself. But I would just say, um, like start even if you're not wanting to work with me or anything like that, just start by speaking to your customers. They're going to give you all the information you need to know.
That is true. They will tell you good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. They will definitely
Yes.
share with you.
It's a blessing though. It's such a blessing, like that somebody would care enough to be like, yeah, this is not working for me. And so then you have the information that you need to improve things. I think that's so powerful.
It is very powerful. You just have to embrace it, maybe, cry a little bit in the shower. You could blame it on getting shampoo in your eye. And then after that, make a plan to take action.
Yeah.
Um, and so, would you mind sharing your website and the best ways to reach out to you before we conclude this podcast?
Of course. So my website is chloeforbesk.com and my Twitter account at Chloe Forbes K, my YouTube account at Chloe Forbes K. If you leave a comment on any video, I will get back to you. The best way to reach me is by email. So that's just Chloe at chloeforbesk.com.
Awesome. Awesome. So, everybody, I hope you're listening. You hung out until the end, but make sure you reach out to Chloe right away so that you can fix this issue. It is fixable. You can figure it out, right? And if you can't figure it out, you definitely have help. So, thank you so much, Chloe. I really enjoyed this another podcast. We shouldn't wait so long to do this again.
No, definitely not. Thank you so much for having me, Jaleel. It was honestly like an honor to be here. And thank you.
Well, we're the ones to be honored by your experience, your knowledge, and your just your general willingness to share and help people grow.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much, Chloe.
Bye bye.